Good evening, guys. Saturday night, just leaving work. I had one of my subscribers call me up and talk to me earlier, and they wanted my opinion on some things, and we had a nice little discussion. Battery's dying on the phone, so I'm going to keep this kind of short. He wanted to know if he should go ahead and go through with the bariatric surgery that he's been thinking about, or if he should try keto again. The weight is starting to creep back up. Numbers are starting to go back up, and it's just really difficult for him to continue doing the weight loss shakes and things of that nature because he's basically starving himself. And he said it's getting to me. I'm not exactly sure where to go with my life right now, but I feel like I need to do something. Am I going to do keto? Am I going to do carnivore? Am I going to do bariatric surgery? There's some things that people don't understand about bariatric surgery. There are good things and there are bad things about it. Just know that whatever you do, it needs to be something that's consistent. Um, you can do a ketogenic diet and you can get great results. All is well, Charlotte. Thank you. You, same thing to you. I hope is all is well. Guys, I'm live right now, so if you watch this later, you'll see me answering people's questions or saying hi to people in the middle of this. I do apologize for not staying on topic with my train of thought. Um, but anyway, I like to say hi to the people that pop on. And remember, as always, if you appreciate the videos, give it a thumbs up. I'm not seeing so much of the support lately with the thumbs up and sharing the videos and stuff like that. I don't know if it's YouTube not. I don't know if they're shadow banning me. I'm not sure what it is. But just I'm getting no views lately at all. It just they've all dropped off. My videos aren't getting watched. Anyhow, bariatric surgery versus keto versus carnivore. Um, and he says I want to do this, but the last time I tried keto, uh, no, I haven't. I don't even want to talk about that right now. I will address that when it's time. It's not time for that yet. Um, I'm going to try to stay on topic. Bariatric versus keto versus carnivore. Um, he wants to know whether or not he should go back to the ketogenic diet. And I said, well, how do you feel? Do you feel like you can control yourself? Do you feel like being on a ketogenic diet is something that you can continue to follow? Do you feel like you can make a commitment to it every single day? Do you feel like, if you fall off, you can kind of regroup and you can get back together quickly? These are some questions you have to answer. Are you set up in your life to where you have people that support you that can help you make that happen? Or are these people always going to pull you in directions that you don't want to go? Like, let's go out to eat. Let's eat this. Let's have pizza night. Let's go to the movies and have popcorn, things of that nature that are going to keep the weight on you. You're going to keep your glucose spiked and your insulin levels high, and that doesn't benefit your health if you're on a ketogenic or carnivorous diet. Carnivore is very, very simple. You don't have to think about making tons of meals. You just eat animal products, salt your food, drink water. Some people will throw some tea in there even though it's not carnivore. Some people will throw coffee in there even though it's not carnivore. But those things can be acceptable on a carnivorous diet. Organs, meat, things of that nature, etc., etc. Very simple. And he says, well, can I have hamburgers and eggs for breakfast? And I said, absolutely. There's nothing wrong with that. Very nutrient dense. You get a lot of good fat, protein, and the micronutrients that go along with it. They're there. And he says, well, what about like bacon and eggs and maybe some hamburger for lunch? And I said, absolutely. Very acceptable on a carnivorous diet. And he's like, man, this is really great. And then he started talking about, let me walk to the truck just so I can plug my phone in. Then he says, I think I can do the carnivore thing. You think maybe if I gave it a 7-day go, and I could stick to it for 7 days without cheating or anything, that I would be all right? And I said, well, absolutely. I mean, if you make it 7 days and you feel good about yourself, you can make it another 7 days, especially when carnivore doesn't feel like it's very restrictive at all because you're eating all the things that you really love anyway. And he said, yeah, I really love meat. I do love animal products. I said, well, perfect. Give it a shot for 7 days before you do bariatric surgery. That would be a great option. That's a great first step to figure out whether or not you want to go that route. Now, there are some things about bariatric surgery that have been proven and haven't been proven. The first thing that I want to talk about with bariatric surgery is on the top of your stomach you have what's called a fundus. It's an area that hormones are created. And when you get the sleeve done, basically they come down on top of the fundus and that portion is eliminated. That hormone, ghrelin, that's created is no longer being signaled constantly. Now, this is where the gray area comes in. Some people say it's already been proven that your ghrelin hormone hunger levels and stuff don't change. Other studies on NCBI have stated that actually that's false. If you come down on that area and eliminate that portion of the stomach, you cannot have so much hunger hormone being secreted because there's not so much of that area left to secrete it. So naturally, with bariatric surgery, your hunger starts becoming eliminated. You feel less hungry. Your stomach is much smaller. You almost feel like as soon as you eat one little small meal, you're full right away. And it's not even a small meal. It could be just a cup of yogurt, a little bit of protein, some fat, and you're done. So can bariatric be a tool? Can it be a okay, because I should do this? Just remember, this is something that's going to stay with you for the rest of your life. So if you haven't tried the other methods of getting healthy, just realize that it's an option. It's not the only option, but let's explore why people do so well on bariatric surgery. I'm plugging my phone in right now. Okay, 7%, that's enough. It's starting to rain. Sorry, I'm getting situated here. Now, why would you be successful with bariatric surgery, but you would not be successful with keto or carnivore? This is where the interesting area comes in. If I'm on a ketogenic diet, I have to make a conscious effort to make food that fits a ketogenic diet. If I'm on a carnivorous diet, I have to make a conscious effort to eat foods that are on a carnivore diet. If I have bariatric surgery, I don't have to make a conscious effort to eat clean foods all the time. I don't have to make a conscious effort to, have so much fat, protein, and stuff every meal. I could eat sensible, small portions of different things in a healthier way. Let's just put it that way. And still live my life completely fine. Now, we've got some benefiting factors here. My mind on a keto or carnivore diet will let itself wander. I could overeat. I could not eat the right things. I could fall off the wagon. I could do all these things on keto and carnivore. Bariatric, I have the fundus is cut down so short on my stomach lining that I don't have so much ghrelin hormone being secreted all the time. I don't feel so hungry all the time like I would if I normally did not or did have that portion of my stomach. I have to control only the amount of food going in, not so much what it is on bariatric. And normally we don't, once you get to the point of bariatric surgery, I get what you're saying about bariatric is just putting a Band-Aid on it. That's not necessarily the case. Some people get fixed on this one way of thinking, and they run with it, and that's just how they want to explain things. I do agree to an extent it is putting a Band-Aid on it. That is not always the case. I do believe by putting a sleeve on the stomach and cutting out portion of the stomach that you are taking out part of that area that does create the ghrelin hormone to signal eating all the time. I do think that making your stomach smaller to the point where you have to eat more frequent small meals can help some people, but it does not help everybody. I have seen 3 of my close friends that have been trying a keto and carnivore diet for the last 3 years get bariatric surgery over the last 4 months, and within the last 4 months they have lost between 55 and 70 pounds immediately. So to see what happens real life with people, to see how they're smiling and they're functioning and they're feeling good about themselves where they were doing everything right before, it's just they weren't doing it to the T right, I'm okay with that. I'm okay with seeing somebody get bariatric surgery if it's going to save their life, if it's going to change their life, if it's going to give them a better outlook. Am I saying it's the only thing? No, I used to be the guy that said, oh, that's just a Band-Aid. You shouldn't do that. You should just learn how to do keto and carnivore right. You should just go vegan or something. You should go carnivore. You should do this. You should do that. I used to be that guy. But now I see people thrive when they make that option to do this life-changing thing in their life, to see, why does bariatric surgery work? Here's why it works. It works because you've had a serious procedure. You know the consequence of messing that up. You've paid thousands of dollars to have that happen. You've now, in your head, you have this fear built up. What if I screw this up? What if I eat too much? What if I don't listen to my body? I'm going to sabotage myself. And I get that. I want to stay focused on this video right now, and I'll come back and read the messages in a second. I just try to keep my train of thought, and when people leave negative comments in the middle of me doing my video or what their opinion is, and I can't stay on track with my video. So people have this fear in their mind of screwing up what's happened. People have this fear in their mind of saying, I don't want to make what surgery's been done worse. So they've already built this up in them. They start having to become more strict. They start looking at things like, wait, I could really screw this up, and there's thousands of dollars worth of work that has to be done all over again, and I don't have that money. I could make myself sick. I can get infections. I can do all kinds of things. Having a surgery that changes the way your metabolism works and the way you function in life almost scares you to the point of making the right choice. There's nobody that I've seen that has bariatric surgery that says, I want to go to McDonald's and eat fries right now. There's nobody that I've seen that has bariatric surgery that says, that I see, I'm going to go eat a loaf of bread right now. People that have bariatric surgery, not only does the surgery scare them, their health, it's obviously at some point where they need to have this surgery, has gone downhill so far that they're consciously thinking, I need to make better choices. And I've obviously got to the point now where my body has to be cut open or worked on in order for me to make those better choices. So when this happens, this is it for me. I need to focus on what goes into my mouth. And those people that I see that have that surgery are making better choices. They are eating cleaner foods. They are making it they're making a more conscious effort to do those things. Why? Because this surgery has forced them into doing that. So being fearful of what you have to do diet-wise because you've had such a surgery, a life-changing surgery, is the main factor on why your life is changing. It's not because you've done anything different than what you've done before. You've put something into play that now has changed your health a little bit. Your hormone levels are different. You're not getting, ghrelin is not secreted as much. You're scared to make a bad choice. You're eating smaller meals throughout the day, maybe not even often. The first time I seen my buddy post, he was like, yeah, I'm drinking broth. I'm eating a little bit of yogurt and stuff. And this went on for weeks and weeks and weeks, and he was dropping weight like crazy. And now I'm starting to add small, soft meals back in. You know, now here we are 4 months later, and he's lost 70 pounds, and he's eating little soft meals throughout it. And he said, all I'm going to have to do is learn to retrain myself. But I know at this point, I have to force myself to want to do this because there's no other option. I can't back out of this now. What's done is done. When you go keto and you go carnivore and you do all these other things, you see people constantly, they're cheating, the artificial sweeteners, they're letting other things creep back in. They make excuses for all the carb days. They just give up on themselves. But it does not work for everybody. People can do these diets and be completely fine on them. But there are some people that are just not receptive to eating certain types of lifestyles all the time. It does not fit their life. And if it does not fit your life, that doesn't necessarily mean you need to change your life to fit that diet. You need to find the diet that leaves you in a healthy state that fits your life. And if going on vacations all the time and, you know, you're at parties all the time and works catering food and stuff all the time, if you're not in a place, in a mindset where you're willing to do the extra work, to get the food there, to actually make a conscious effort to bring your lunch to work and things like that, keto and carnivore is not going to work for you. They will not work for you. But if you're looking for something that's going to be the quick fix to starting to lose weight now and then possibly making better choices after bariatric surgery could work, I don't wish it upon nobody, and I don't think it's the answer for anybody. But if you make that choice, just realize it's not the end of the day. It does work for people. There have been people that have done it, many people, and it has changed their life for the better. They've had to retrain how they do things throughout their entire life.
It can leave you sick. There are complications down the road when it happens. You have to realize when you make that choice, and I understand what you're saying about it. It's the choices for weight loss. But weight loss in general can change somebody's everything. Getting the adipose tissue off your body can actually start making your body more sensitive to ghrelin. It can make it more sensitive to leptin levels and stuff like that. It can actually help retrain how you deal with hormone levels and stuff. So just to say that it's just for weight loss is only an opinion. When you look at it from a scientific standpoint and you watch somebody in life thriving and moving along in their life, no matter what the reason is, no matter what the situation is, no matter what you versus me is, at the end of the day, the ultimate goal is, are you happy? Can you sustain this? Are you healthy? Continue on. That's where it's at. I want to see people happy, healthy, and sustainable, regardless if it's vegan, carnivore, keto, bariatric, I don't care. The reason a bariatric surgery works is because you are forced after that surgery to retrain your life. If you do not retrain the way you eat, the amount of food you eat, and how often you eat, you're going to undo everything that's been done and you're going to be sick again. So, if you asked me, should I do keto? Should I do carnivore? Should I do bariatric? What should I do? I would honestly tell you, I suggest you start with a ketogenic diet. If you start with a ketogenic diet and you feel like 2-3 months later you're not making any progress, it's just not for you, I would seek out, am I doing this correctly? Go over, evaluate what you're doing, evaluate what you're eating. Are you letting the artificial sweeteners, the keto treats, the highly processed keto foods and stuff that are all over the place now creep into your life? If the answer to that is yes, pull back, reformulate, go super clean, give it a few more months. Is nothing changing at that point? Maybe you could try a carnivore diet. Maybe there's some kind of slight autoimmune condition going on that you don't know about. A carnivore diet is even more powerful than a ketogenic diet when it comes to fighting autoimmune conditions. It's very simple. It's very easy to do. It's very easy to follow. Water, salt, animal products, eat until you're full. Don't skimp when you eat. It's very, 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 very simple. You're going to find people give you 10,000 other ways to do carnivore as well, but simply when it comes down to it, it's animal products, water, and salt. Don't be afraid to eat organs from time to time. Make sure you get adequate amounts of healthy fatty meat. That's what it comes down to. And you'll be completely fine. Some people take a multivitamin, some people have some vitamin C, but just make sure you're getting plenty of sodium when you eat these diets. At that point, if you've tried keto and you've tried carnivore for a while and they're just not working for you and you're trying to decide whether or not you want to do bariatric surgery, do what you have to do to make yourself happy. But make sure you've tried to do these diets the way they're intended to be done. Follow the lifestyle the way it's intended to be followed. Just because Sarah from Sarah's Corner or whatever and it's got 30,000 followers and she's making 700 calorie bulletproof coffees every single day doesn't mean that's doing keto correctly. What you should be doing is following a nice, good, clean, regimented way of doing it. Go online, look up Dr. Eric Westman, look up some of the things that are acceptable, not acceptable to eat. Reach out to me, reach out to somebody else that you know is going to be offering really good quality information, and we will direct you the right way. Now, the right way is just the right way to that person. You have to feel comfortable with that person. Look up Dr. Eric Westman and find out what is acceptable on a ketogenic diet and what is not, and it'll blow your mind. You're going to find people like, big name like Dr. Berg, Dr. Berry. Those guys know what's going on as well, but I prefer Dr. Eric Westman. He's been doing it the longest out of all these doctors, and he seems to have the most knowledge and the most research out there when it comes down to it at the end of the day. If you want to find out about cholesterol, look up Dave Feldman, cholesterolcode.com. Dave Feldman. He seems to be ahead of this, on top of all of them. If I was to look at different websites and things like that, a lot of people like Keto Doctor, Keto or Diet Doctor, or KetoDoctor.com or something like that, dietdoctor.com. You can find stuff there. You can find stuff all over the place on the internet. If you want to read books and stuff on that, you can read like Jimmy Moore. I know a lot of people don't like Jimmy Moore. I do care for his writing style. I do like the information he puts out. Cholesterolcode.com, or no, ketoclarity.com, cholesterolclarity.com. There's a great book out there about salt from Dr. James DiNicolantonio, The Salt Fix. The best keto doctor to me is Dr. Eric Westman, by far. He's been doing it the longest. Dr. Eric Westman has been doing it right along with Dr. Stephen Feeney and Dr. Jeff Volek. They've all been doing it since the 80s. They're the longest running ketogenic doctors. The only difference between Dr. Stephen Feeney and Stephen Feeney, Jeff Volek, and Dr. Eric Westman is I think Dr. Eric Westman likes a regular, more 70% fat, kind of 20-25% protein, 5 to 10% carbohydrate. He's more of a typical regular ketogenic doctor, as where Dr. Stephen Feeney and Dr. Jeff Volek, they like a little bit more protein, which is completely fine as well. So whatever you do, at the end of the day, it's about what fits your lifestyle. And if it's bariatric, it can work. People are going to talk down about it. People are going to say they don't like it. People are going to say it's made them feel sick and things like that. And it may have been. Listen to what those people have to say. But you have to make that choice at the end of the day. I've seen several people over the last 4 months, it's changed their life completely. Let's see if it continues to change their life completely. I don't talk bad about this stuff anymore because I don't see the need to do that. I don't talk bad about Thank you. That potassium video I thought was going to take off a lot better than what it did, but it just seems that people aren't really receptive to some of the videos I put out, because sometimes it makes it seem like the doctors and stuff that they listen to don't know what they're talking about. And sometimes I can honestly say that I don't think a lot of the doctors and stuff that we follow do know what they're talking about. You have to understand that when me and you go through this journey and learn things, they're doing the same thing. The only thing is they have an MD in front of their name. There's no difference between me and you and them. They have a medical degree. They see patients and stuff, but a lot of them are new to the ketogenic diet just like we are, or the carnivore diet just like we are. They're learning just like we do. They don't know these terms and stuff like that before all this medical stuff came along. So a lot of people will say, oh, go see Dr. So-and-so. And I'm like, well, no, I've been following Stephanie for the last 10 years, and she knew all this stuff before Dr. So-and-so did, and she's just a regular keto person that's just really knowledgeable. She's been talking about it since reading, out of Dr. Eric Westman's book 15 years ago or something. So I know a lot of us like to see a face that has an MD in front of their name, but a lot of the stuff that they put out is a lot of bullshit. And I'm sorry to say it that way, but a lot of it is for the social media following. They want subscribers, they want the monetization, they want to live the lavish lifestyles, they want to go on the vacations, they want to quit their practicing and stuff like some of them have already done so they could live off social media monetization and people giving them money. I know that's some stuff you guys don't want to hear, but that's just the hard, cold truth. That's what it is. It is what it is. I love my job. I've been doing my job for years. I don't want to quit my job. I don't ever want to have to live off social media. I think something that you work hard for your whole life and that you're really serious and passionate about should be something that you continue to do. Why would you become a social media star and then quit that live, hands-on, personal practice of dealing with people one-on-one so you could just do everything off social media? You've lost touch with a lot of that bonding, that human interaction and stuff, because now it's all on here. The products being sold are ridiculous. All these doctors are getting into it. All these doctors are getting into buy this, supplement that, let me coach you this, buy my program this. We got people on here doing it for free that have been doing keto videos and have had their channels up for years, that have been doing the very same thing that they're doing for free, that have been giving people advice for free for years. But somebody will go pay $300 to some doctor where they could just go to Mike's Keto Extravaganza and listen to what he has to say But he's got a video out that's 4 years old that says the exact same thing out that doctor put out 2 weeks ago, and now you're going to go subscribe to their channel when Mike's been putting it out for years. It just it boggles my mind how people get drawn into this stuff. So my video was about or is about bariatric, keto, and carnivore. I think if you were going to pick something to start out with, right out the gate, if you're a person that needs a lot of variety and stuff like that, the ketogenic diet is by far the best diet to start with. If you're a person that wants simplicity, if you're a person that Berg and DeLauer are the most annoying ones I've seen on the internet so far. Dr. Berg, I mean, some of the recommendations he puts out is ridiculous. I went to his Facebook page, and I was on his Facebook page, and I was like, when he first opened his keto group, I think there was only like 5,000 people at the time. It was right after he first opened it up, and I'm sitting there at the end of the night answering questions based off his videos that he won't even come onto the group and answer. Here's a Dr. Berg video. Here's what Dr. Berg would say. Here's what he. And then I realized at the end of the day, why am I doing somebody else's work? Why am I acting like an admin on a group, sharing all Dr. Berg's videos for him when I didn't get any of my information for him? And I don't even really agree with everything that he's saying. So I was like, this is ridiculous. And then at the end of the day, he would show up at like 9:30, 10 o'clock my time. He would be there for about 30 minutes. He would talk to people, push, oh, here's my vitamin C video, go watch that, instead of actually talking to them. Here's a supplement that will fix that, instead of actually talking to them about how to get it with food. This is what you should do. Here's my video, go watch this video. There was no interaction. There was no like, okay, this is what you do, this is what you do, this is what you do. It was all about watch my video so I can get monetization, go buy my product so I can make money. And I was like, man, I got to be done with this guy, man. I can't. This dude, it's 7 to 10 cups of vegetables per day. You don't need any vegetables if you look at it from the science aspect. And this eat no more than 3 or 4 ounces per meal of meat. I'm like, what is this guy doing? 3 to 4 ounces of meat per meal. I want 16 ounces of meat per meal. Get out of here with all this nonsense. So I went on, and since then, I haven't picked up another. I haven't recommended any video of his. I don't really care for the guy too much, to be honest with you. And Thomas DeLauer, I used to love his stuff, but he's so bought by all these supplement companies and all these ads popping up all over Facebook and all the companies that want to work with him and the monetization and stuff like that. I cannot even stand that guy anymore, man. It's I don't want nothing to do with it. And then, I really just like Dr. Eric Westman, Tim Noakes, um, Dave Feldman. If I recommend books, it's usually from Maria Emmerich or Jimmy Moore. I know there are some other guys out there that I just don't follow. Benjamin Bickman is another good one. Um, I don't really get involved with a lot of social media stars anymore, or big names. I just find that me doing the experiments and looking at the studies myself and dealing with people more on a one-on-one basis, I get more out of it that way than having to go to somebody else for the information. I learn very well by actually looking up the studies and looking at what works and what doesn't work. I was just having a conversation with somebody on Facebook on Dave Feldman's group, LMHR, Lean Mass Hyper Responders, and the guy was saying low fat does not equal keto. And I'm thinking to myself, wait a second, where are you getting this from? You could definitely have low fat and still have ketones present. Because you have low fat in your meal or on your diet for one day or whatever it is, does not mean it's not a ketogenic diet. The whole premise behind a ketogenic diet is restricting carbohydrates and sugar to a level where your body starts producing ketones, regardless if it's dietary fat coming from your plate or food that or the fat on your body. The whole premise behind a ketogenic diet is eating a diet that allows you to produce ketones. Well, the guy followed up with, no, it's Paul Saladino is pretty cool, but Paul Saladino came out the gate looking for. I was helping him out in the beginning. I let him on a couple of my keto groups where he would talk to people and stuff like that. He did a couple live videos for us, and he was great. I mean, really, really, really stand up kind of guy, helping a lot of people. He would jump on and say, "Hey, I'm going to do about a half hour, 45-minute video and teach some people some stuff. Do you mind?" And he would jump on and he would go right at it. And it's just wonderful. But the bigger he got, I found him when he had about 200 people, and I started putting his information out all over the place. And Paul used to leave me messages and stuff, say, "Hey, thanks for looking out for me. Thanks for catching all the vegans attacking me on my channel. Thanks for catching the naysayers and notifying me, hey, you need to check out the comment section because you're getting blasted pretty bad on your channel." I'd message him real quick and I'd say, "Hey, check out that video you just put out. You got some pretty rough stuff going on in the comment section." And he would come back and say, "Dude, you're always looking out for me. Thank you. I appreciate everything. Thanks for helping me get out there. Thanks for putting my name out there and stuff like that." And I think at the time, I only had like, 12 to 1,400 subscribers. And my channel just slowly creeps up. And the reason my channel doesn't take off like other people's does is because I don't care what people think about me. I don't care what kind of BS people want to talk about me. There's a lot of people out there that don't like me because I just come right at it. I don't care if you're male. I don't care if you're female. If you're an idiot, a lot of times I'll tell you you're just an idiot. I don't care about your feelings. And I've even went at it with doctors, keto doctors, vegan doctors on Facebook and said, "Man, you just sound like a bucket of ass. I just don't know what you're putting out. It just doesn't make any sense." And people don't like that. People don't like when their superstars are talked bad about. I don't care. I'll put them on blast. It doesn't matter to me. I'm more of a common sense kind of guy, not a frou-frou kind of guy. And if people just cannot stand that. I won't be bought by products. I've had two different doctors that run nutritional channels ask me if they could buy my recipes and stuff. No, I'm not going to sell you my videos. I'm not selling you my recipes. I'm not selling anything to you. If you don't want to share my stuff and help other people out because you see a good video or a good recipe, I'm not selling it to you. It's not happening. So there was a doctor, Dr. Christie or Dr. Kirsty or Christy, or I made a video about it not too long ago, and the doctor messaged me and she said, "Hey, you put out really good recipes and stuff. Could I buy some of your recipes that I have the rights to and nobody else have the rights to?" No. I want people to know that I created this recipe. I'm the one that put it out. I'm the one that came up with it, and I want them to have it for free. They're not going to buy it. None of that. I'm not selling you my... The only reason that I do that is, I'll just be straight with you guys. I make between... I'm just a regular Joe Schmo. I don't need a lot of money. I make about $70,000 to $80,000 a year as a mechanic. And I live very happily off that money. I don't need a big lavish job. I don't need to make $110,000, $120,000 plus per year. I make a very comfortable living. I'm finally on my feet. I don't need somebody else's money. I don't need people to buy me. I don't need sponsored or any of that stuff. I'm just a normal dude, and I feel bad for people. And I had nothing. I was living out of my truck. I was eating the most garbage food that you can find. I was homeless as a child. I was in and out of foster care for years and years and years, and I lived at the bottom of the barrel like a catfish, sucking the bottom scum off of everything because I never got by. Well, once I actually went to school and college and everything else, and I started doing everything for myself and not getting other people's help, I was like, to hell with that. If people aren't going to help me and I'm not going to get the same handouts that everybody else got, then I'm just going to be a very greedy person and keep everything to myself. Well, I realized that mindset I had to change. And as I started getting 22, 23, 24 years old, I started realizing, man, you've got so much to offer people. Just give it to them. Give it to them for free. Help people. Just go do stuff for people. So that's what I do now. My whole mindset's changed. I don't want to be a big flashy star with a logo and be bought by American Metabolics and everything else like some of our YouTubers have been. I don't want all that. I just want to be me. And I see a lot of these doctors and stuff that do that stuff. So Paul, great guy. I still really like him. I still think he's one of the best doctors that we have around. I just don't say nothing to him anymore. I lost a lot of respect for Paul because I found Paul, like I said, at about 250, 200 subscribers or something like that. It really helped get his name out there, just like Dr. Barry. I found Dr. Barry at about 2,000 subscribers, and I started putting his name in all the different keto groups on Facebook. I had my own group at the time that I was just helping out. It just started to take off. I think it's up to like 35, 40,000 people now or something like that. I'm not an admin in the group anymore or whatever. It's a long story. A lot of drama and stuff happened. And I was only helping out in that group, but I was really doing a lot of work for that group, and it was just growing and growing and growing and growing. And I would put his videos out there and stuff like that. And both these doctors really started to take off. And I'm not saying it's because of me, it's because of people like me. I want no credit for that at all. But when I ask for something in return, hey, you want to jump on and do a video about cholesterol this weekend? Hey, let's jump on and do a video about sodium and vitamin C or something like that. Oh yeah, sure, yeah, we'll make time. And then Saturday would roll around, or Sunday would roll around, or Friday would roll around, and they're nowhere to be found. They can't make the deadline. Some other big fish came along and said, "Hey, let's do something that had the twice the amount of subscribers," and you're nobody to them. So you get brushed off and pushed off to the side and stuff like that, and you're not thought of anymore. You're just some Joe Schmo that they'll use whenever they can come back to you, and never put any time. And I even went as far as sending them personal messages saying, "Hey, look, I'm done with you. I won't support you anymore. I've given you everything that I can for too long, and you're not reciprocating. But now that you're a big name out there, and you've had a lot of little people like me help you get there, you've forgotten about those people. You don't have time for those people no more. They're not even thought of anymore." So I was that guy behind the scenes helping push that guy along, just like it was, a religion. It had to be this person. This information had to come from that person until a couple years of doing that stuff, I realized, man, this is stupid. What am I doing? Why am I following these people like they're like some kind of god or something like that? They ain't nobody. They're doctors that came along, and I've been doing this stuff before they even came along. I figured this stuff out before them. They never really taught me anything. So I just came straight out and started telling people, man, y'all are following these people like they're some kind of cult leader or something like that, and they're really not. You can find this information out for yourself. This information's been out long before them. They're just a nice face in front of the screen that likes to get those monetization bucks. Buy my supplement, buy my book, buy my this, buy my that, buy your shit. I don't need to buy nothing from you to learn what's already out there. It's free. Google, keto, cholesterol, LDL, HDL, all the information pops up. Done. Done and done. Don't need any of that other stuff. But it's nice to have. People like that flashy stuff. They like the nice names. They like the country accents and the say it like it is kind of personality. But when it comes from Joe Schmo like me, that's not okay. Anyhow, so Thomas DeLauer, don't really watch any of his videos anymore. He's too flashy for me. He sells tons of products, and it just doesn't do it for me. Dr. Berg, same thing. Too flashy, blown up products. Sells tons of products. Quit practicing because he makes more off social media and stuff like that. Doesn't even want to do the doctor thing no more. Don't got no time for people like that. Same thing. I don't watch any of Barry's videos no more. Paul's okay. I just don't really care how Paul kind of I fell off the face of the earth. It was kind of all good and grand whenever I was helping Paul and watching his channel and stuff for him, messaging him privately and stuff like that, telling him about everything that was going on, keeping him up to date with topics and things like that. And then all of a sudden he started being viewed on the podcast and Mark Bell's Power Project and everything else, and you get forgotten. You're not even there no more. You help these people get there, and then they completely forget you. So I quit watching any of Paul's stuff now. I don't even talk. You know who I do talk to though? Out of everybody still to this day, and this is no bullshit. Out of everybody still to this day, the one person that messages me without me enticing anything, that says, "Hey, how are you? What's going on? How's your life? You want to do a video together?" is Bart K. BARTKAY, our nutritional science watchdog. Bart will message me out of nowhere and say, "Hey, buddy, how are you doing? Just wanted to know if you wanted to jump online and do a video together." We like doing videos together. We have a lot of the same type of personality. I'll message Bart. Bart will message me, and we'll go back and forth and we'll talk. He just messaged me about a week and a half ago, and he said, "Hey, over the next couple weeks, let's talk about a topic or a couple topics that we want to get online and talk together about because we jive well together. We bounce stuff off of one another." I'll throw him some good questions so he can roll out that scientist side of him and start explaining everything, and then we'll just feed off each other. So I like that. I like that type of relationship. I like the fact that he cares enough to say, hey, what's going on? Thanks for helping me get here. Thanks for sharing my information. I didn't forget about you. You're still an important person in my life. I realize that the only way I'm going to get to where I'm at is because of people like you. And thank you. That means a lot. But these other guys, they don't even talk to their own admin. These guys that have Facebook groups, they don't even know what's going on in their Facebook groups. People think that the person that started the Facebook group, Berg, Barry, and all these other people, that they're actually the ones communicating. They're not the ones doing that stuff. They got other people doing all that. When they go live every once in a while, it's because they have to. They have to show their face from time to time. Uh, it just, it is what it is. They don't. People put too much effort into these guys. Dr. Brett Shear is great. I'll check him out. I'll check him out. Anyhow, this video is going too long. I just want you guys to know that I appreciate you being here. I appreciate you watching my videos. I appreciate you sending me questions and stuff throughout the week. And I'm glad that I can help you and I can make your life somewhat better by answering your questions. This week has been a huge week for me because I've had about 30 people message me off Facebook this week. And I'm not sure if it's you guys sharing my videos or not, but people have said, hey, look, I've seen your sodium video. Hey, look, I've seen your potassium video. Hey, look, thank you for explaining, this that way because I never got it before. And I've really made an impact in people's lives. And I love that. I love the fact that I can do that. I love the fact that being a mechanic and understanding how mechanical components and things work and communicate and talk to each other help me explain things that happen in life in general. Or just maybe me being personal and talking to you guys a little bit different than other people because I just want to be real with you. I just want to give it to you the way it is. I want to give it to you the way it's in here, regardless if it's wrong or right. That's me, and I appreciate you respecting that and letting me talk to you. Remember, we all got to do this. It's our life, it's our journey. We only get one of them. Sometimes we get two. But if you're not doing it to make yourself happy, who are you doing it for? Regardless of what diet you're on, what life you live, at the end of the day, you being happy and healthy is the only focus that you should be worried about. It shouldn't be worried about what I think or Joe Schmo thinks or Dr. So-and-so thinks. It should be about what you think and you being happy and thriving and a healthy person. Thank you guys. I appreciate you. Thumbs up the video, share it. I think the pecking order would be, again, keto, if you want variety. If you're really worried about medical, I would start with carnivore for medical. If your sole purpose is medical, I would start with a carnivore diet. If you're just trying to lose weight and you want variety, I would start with the keto diet and then go carnivore. And then if that stuff doesn't work, choose what you want to do from there. Bariatric surgery should be your last result, or the result that you know works for you. Bariatric surgery is a band-aid. You can fix the issue that's going on with you, but that band-aid does help heal wounds. There's different ways to look at this. Figure out what you got to do. Make it your choice. Have a great weekend, guys. Thank you. Be safe. God bless.